Welcome to Thank You for Your Service on Wisconsin Rapids Community Media. Thank You for Your Service is a program that features veterans from our community from all branches of service and conflicts, as well as information for the veterans and their families. My name is Tom Heiser and I will be the host. So often we think of veterans as a person with a helmet on, a little bit of a beard, kind of dirty, cigarette hanging out of their mouth. But one thing many people do not know is that 10% of the veterans are our female heroes as well. Today we will be interviewing Iraqi war veteran Melissa Simcakowski. Thank you for your service, Melissa. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for calling. As normal, we're just going to start out very easy with this, Melissa. What branch of service did you serve in?
I was in the Army Reserves.
Army Reserves, based out of where?
Junction City, Wisconsin.
Okay, and that was during what time frame were you?
I would join the reserves in 1998, and I got out in 2006, and I was deployed from 2003 to 2004.
Okay, and why did you choose the reserves?
I chose reserves because I didn't know anybody in the reserves. I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I liked that it was the federal side instead of the National Guard, which is state. I wanted to be part of the federal program. Yep.
Okay, when you joined, did you ever assume that you would be going to war?
I did not. When I joined, I didn't have any idea that was going to that was going to happen. Obviously, they train you for that, and we trained for that, but I didn't have any clue, and I did not think that was going to happen.
So was there other people in your family that were in the service?
My uncle was in the service, and my grandpa.
Okay, so there was a little bit of history.
Yes.
In your
yes.
military service. And how old were you when you entered the military?
I was 18 when I entered. I was just out of high school.
And what motivated you to enlist?
The reason why I joined was because my friends were going off to college, and I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do something that was exciting, and I didn't want to stay at my current job. I wanted to better myself and learn some skills, and it sounded like it was a really neat opportunity at that age, in 18, when they're telling you can throw grenades and shoot big weapons at that age. I thought that was really neat. So that's what motivated me to join.
Okay, and where were you living at that time?
I was living in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Okay. Did any friends enlist with you at that time?
I didn't have any friends enlist with me at all. In fact, I don't really know of anybody else that I was close friends with that did enlist at that time, maybe later, but I did enlist by myself.
Okay. And when you enlisted, where did you have to go?
When I enlisted, I went to Fort Jackson and went down there for basic training, and then I went through school, my MOS training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Okay. And what did you envision it would be like?
I really didn't know. I should have done more research, I guess, and asked more questions. I did have some friends that were in the National Guard. They were older than I was and kind of talked to me a little bit about it. And they did say that it was a lot of physical activity, drill sergeants yelling at you, waking up in the morning, a lot of PT. And I liked to do workout and do athletic stuff like that, but I had no clue what they would expect of me or how tough it really was.
Okay, so now your first day.
Yes.
You go to boot camp.
Yes.
And where was boot camp again?
South Carolina at Fort Jackson. My first day of boot camp, it was like a whirlwind. I think I closed my eyes and I couldn't believe where I was, getting issued, and the drill sergeants yelling, and we just get off the bus, and you have no idea where you are. It was my first time really away from home, and just being thrown in such a, it was organized chaos, I like to say. But my first day of boot camp, got there later in the afternoon, and just the rules and how hard they were on us, I won't forget that day.
Okay, so nervous, scared, or excited?
All of the above. I was very excited. I was very determined to succeed, and not fail, and to, do the best I could do. Back when I joined, it was be all that you can be. So that's kind of what I hung on to, and my biggest fear was being sent home getting hurt or failing. So every day I tried very hard to succeed. Yep.
Okay, so when you went in and you get to boot camp, you were separated from the males, but when you went through boot camp, were it males and females or just a female unit?
There were males and females, and we had different barracks. Obviously, females stayed in one side and the males stayed in the other, but we did all our training and it was equal. We did all the same things. The only thing different was the APFT. They had to do more sit-ups or push-ups and run faster, but the females and males, we even ran that together. And for some points, I even ran with the males. We had run groups A, B, C, and I even ran in the male platoon for PT in the morning. So we trained together.
So no real major separation. When you ran 5 miles, you ran 5 miles.
Yes, absolutely. And they would base you on how you did on your APFT with who you ran with. So yeah, we did all the training together. Obviously, there was battle buddies, and we had female battle buddies, and the males had male battle buddies, but we trained together.
Okay. And you mentioned your advanced training. So now you've finished boot camp.
Yes.
And you went to Fort Leonard Wood.
Yes.
What was your MOS? What was your job?
I was an 88 Mike. I was a semi-driver, truck driver. So what we did was we got to drive the big trucks and got to learn how to drive stick shift and, the big trucks. I don't even remember what their names were anymore. Drove semi, the deuce and halves, the 5 tons, and the newer vehicles too. I don't remember what they were called. We didn't have them in our unit, but that was pretty neat.
So you drove the big stuff?
Yes, I did. Yes.
The 52-foot trailers?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so now you've finished your AIT. Did you come back to Junction City? Did you come back to Stevens Point, or what happened then?
Yes, I finished my AIT, and then I came back to Stevens Point where I was living, and I did my drill training at Junction City at the 99th Quartermaster Company, and we were a supply unit.
And when your original enlistment was for how many years?
8 years, 6 and 2. So 6 years I did, and then 2 years I activated that, so I just kept drilling, which you didn't have to.
Okay. So now your unit gets activated.
Yes.
How scary was that?
Well, it was pretty scary. It was right after 9/11, and we kind of knew something was going to happen. I remember that day, and I thought we were going to get called up right away. So that's when 9/11 happened, and that's when we got activated. We were one of the first units to get activated. We actually followed the troops over the berm to say, as soon as they cleared the area, we were there. So we were over there in March, and 9/11, so when we started deploying, that's when we went over there, so 2003. But yeah, so what started all that, so was when the terrorist attacks.
Okay, so you were in the Guards when 9/11 happened?
The reserves, yes.
Oh, the reserves,
yes,
I'm sorry.
I was in that's okay. I was in the reserves when 9/11 happened.
And what was the feeling amongst the troops at that time? Because you would have a different perspective than the general public would have when that occurred.
Yeah, it was just awful. I cried when I heard about it. When I heard it on the radio. In the service, I was just waiting for that call. Didn't know if we were going to have to, get ready and, do things that within the United States or what was going to happen. So it was just very, very, just waiting to see if you're going to get that phone call. And, after that happened, our training changed and everything like that. And it was, more geared towards like wartime and different it changed the way that we did our drills, our annual trainings, and the length of time that we did do our annual trainings. They started doing our drills more 4-day weekends instead of 2, and then a lot more 3-day weekends. So it changed everything.
Okay. So now you get activated. After Junction City, where do you go?
So after Junction City, we went to Fort McCoy, and we were there, I think it was February. We arrived at Fort McCoy, and we were there for a month, and then we were just waiting for word for us to get sent out. So we did a lot of training at Fort McCoy. We did weapons training, we did tactical training, we did gas mask training, putting on our J-list suits, they were called. We did everything to try to prepare us for that. We did our shots. We had so many immunizations from anthrax to smallpox. So that's what we're doing, just getting ready there, getting our gear assigned to us, things like that.
So now you're activated. Now you're full-time. Your job
Yes.
is
Yes.
behind you.
Yes.
Your civilian job.
Yes,
You are now
it is.
active and you are part of the federal military system.
Yes, and my work was very supportive throughout my military career, and they still are supportive of the military.
Okay. And other people in your unit,
Yes.
very close, aren't you?
Yes, very close. Yep, in fact, in next year, I think it's 15 years, and we're already planning a reunion. Two of my best friends I met through the military, and we still talk every day. And one of them, I'm actually their godmother, so.
Okay. So you're overseas. You're in Iraq.
Yes.
Any casualties in your unit?
We didn't. We all came home. We had great leadership, and fortunately, we all came home, which is amazing because a lot of units didn't, unfortunately. But we all did.
But there were some injuries.
There were some injuries. We did when we first got there. We were in Kuwait, and somebody at the base we were at drove into a line of troops standing for the get supplies and ran into them. So we had a couple people get injured that way, but nobody got injured so bad that I can recall that got sent home.
Okay, so no Purple Hearts or...
I think that no Purple Hearts. I don't know. They did receive an award for getting hit by that, I'd like to say terrorist, or that hit them in the line, but I don't know what it was.
Okay. Were you injured?
I wasn't. I got injured. I injured my back. I had an accident over there, driving truck, and I injured my back. And while I was training at Fort McCoy, I got frostbite, but nothing like a lot of the troops over there. Very fortunate for that.
Okay. Were you awarded any ribbons or medals or citations?
I was. I don't know. They're on my DD 214. I just looked at them, and I don't remember what they all were. Terrorism medal, ARCOM, some service medals for being overseas.
And did your unit receive any citations, unit citations for your work over there?
I know that we did. I just don't remember what they are.
But you did receive some because
I believe so, yes.
So you were over there early in the campaigns.
Yep, 2003 to 2004, 367 days. Like I said, when we arrived there, we didn't have anything. We didn't have toilets. We didn't have we didn't have any showers. We didn't have anything like that. We had to build everything. So we didn't have any of those type of luxuries. So what we brought with us is what we used. There was no laundry. We did what we packed in the connexes, and we did everything by hand and all those types of things. By the time we left, there was Burger Kings and all of those types of luxuries there. But we didn't have any of that when we first got there for a long time.
Okay. What was your highest rank?
E5. E5.
So you were a sergeant.
Yep. Yes.
In charge of some.
Yeah, in charge of the other drivers. So we had a couple 88 mics in our unit. So I think we had like 4 or 5. So squad leader. Yeah.
Okay. What was everyday life like over there?
Everyday life. Well, I was in supply and I was attached to a water platoon. So we worked at a prisoner camp, Camp Buka. And that was the prisoner camp down south. So what we did is we purified water and we would deliver it to the people that were at the Camp Buka, and we would deliver it to the prisoners. We had a big bag farm over there too that people worked on. And what we did was we distributed water for the Iraqi prisoners because we made the water potable. We took water out of the Euphrates River. So what we did was I would get up in the morning, do PT, have breakfast, get in my truck, and I would deliver water all day on a semi. And I was at the port of Qasr, and which was close to Camp Buka. We could see it through the desert. And what we did is we delivered water there for showers, we had these things called onion skins, which we were lucky to have them. We'd fill them with water so people could get in the onion skin. It looked like one of those big blue pools now. We would deliver water for showers and for laundry and things like that. So that's what I did.
Write a lot at home and get a lot of mail back and forth?
I did. I had a lot of support. I wrote a lot of letters, and I received a lot of letters and a lot of care packages from all over the place. Just America, like just supporting the troops over there. It's just amazing, from Christmas cards to DVDs, from just people that are trying to reach soldiers over there. It's just the support is just overwhelming. It was just amazing. Yeah.
Made things a lot easier with all that support, wasn't it?
It sure did. Yes, it did.
So you would get cards and letters from like grade school children,
Yes,
school
grade
children?
school. Get things from people I didn't even know. They were just sending stuff. People that heard that I was over there that I didn't even know, like, would just send me care packages, and it was just amazing, from stamps to Gatorade to T-shirts, whatever, just to help us be a little bit more comfortable being over there.
So you use the term care package, which is a term that I am familiar with, but a care package is just a package sent from somebody with a lot of stuff.
Yes, like candies and anything that wouldn't get ruined, beef jerky, things like that.
Okay, so the care package was not from a company, organization, it was usually from individuals.
Individuals, yeah. I mean, companies did send things, but it was from individuals.
Okay, homesick when you were over there?
No, I wasn't homesick at all. No, I actually went on leave around Christmas time, and it was harder for me to be away than it was for me to be away from my family, my battle buddies. It was harder for me to be away for that short period of time than it was for me to be there. I wasn't.
So when you first got over there, you had to build the showers and places to
showers.
live.
Yeah, yes, we did. Tents, showers, and it was hot. I had to wear gloves if you touched the connexes, because the people would put pigs up. They're called. They look like pigs on the water buildings. You climb up there, and my hands would get blisters. It was so hot, the metal was. So you have to wear gloves when you climb up there. And we had to build everything. So there was nothing. There was no toilets. There was no showers. We had to make our own tents, everything like that, when we went over into Iraq.
Sand
Everywhere. There is camels and sand and camel spiders and scorpions and just a lot of those critters over there. Different.
Okay. Did you carry any reminders from home with you when you were over there?
Yeah, I did. I carried a rosary that my grandma gave my mom, and I still have it. And I carried it in my pocket, my front right pocket, every day. I had that in there. So
Helped.
yeah, it did.
Okay. So yeah, that was your good luck charm or your superstition.
It
when you were
was.
over.
Yes, it was.
Okay. Now you're off duty.
Yes.
What is there to do in Iraq when you're off duty?
Well, read. I read so many books over there, and not on the tablet either, paperback books. I read so many books and so many series, and that's what I did. Was I read, or you just you get a computer and you watch movies. So a lot of movies and a lot of reading.
And time with your friends.
Yep, time with friends too, crossword puzzles and all that stuff. Yep.
Okay, did you have internet connection where you could, get back?
No,
to
when
home?
we went over there, we did not have internet connection. We didn't for a long time, and then later they got a tent that was internet. But what we did do is sometimes we got to go to Kuwait, and I bought a cell phone, and it was expensive, but I could call home. Otherwise, we didn't get to call home either. So, and I didn't get to use that very often, but we can only call home during certain times, and it was kind of an emergency situation. And if you didn't have to, then you just wouldn't. You'd let people with children. So I didn't have any children, and so I'd let people that have kids be able to call instead of me doing that and taking up that amount of time, because you were only allotted so much.
Any USO shows over there?
Yes, I did. I went to a USO show in Kuwait, and it was great. There was a lot of people there. There was Lieutenant Dan was there from Boy Scout, and he came. We had a lot of singers come, Kid Rock. Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and we had comedians. It was a huge. I actually got a shirt from it. I saved it. It's still at home. There was so many people there. It was amazing. It was neat.
Good show.
Yeah, it
Kept
was
morale
really
up.
good. Yeah, it was really good.
Okay. Some good memories from over there and bad, right?
Yes,
Lot more good ones.
absolutely. Yes.
And what were some of those good memories from over there?
Well, like I said, with onion skins, filling those up, that was really awesome. Being able to swim, to cool off. Just the people that I met with my unit. We were a very close unit. From playing cards to we would play softball and volleyball, and we would do the best that we could. We just kind of, we met there, we deployed, and we were at the same place with the Brits. So the Brits had ships. So one time they took us out in the Euphrates River, and we went on their boat, and we could jump off there, and just memories like that. And they had dogs with them there, so we got to go see like the drug dogs, the working dogs for the Brits too. But just meeting people from all over. There was a lot of British soldiers at our base.
What was the title of your base or your compound?
Well, when we first got there, we were at Camp Udari, and then that was in Kuwait. And then when we got to Iraq, we were at Camp Buka, and then we had an attachment up at Abu Ghraib. So, we were at Camp Buka, the majority of all of us.
Okay. Being a truck driver, IEDs.
Yes. I drove up to Abu Ghraib, and we got stopped on the way out of Abu Ghraib on our way back from IED, and then I didn't see any go off though, fortunately, and our vehicles never got hit by them, which is good because we went over there. We didn't have any reinforced doors. We still had the cloth Humvee doors on, and now they're all armored. But when we went up there, our vehicles were not armored like that. We didn't have any of that protection. So it's very good that we didn't run into any of those, or I didn't. So, and I can't speak for everybody that was in my unit, but I'm not familiar with anybody running anywhere of those.
But you got involved in a combat situation.
Well, not so much. I mean, we did receive fire one time on a convoy. Nobody was hit or anything like that. But I was down south more. I guess the biggest thing that we had is we have to drive through towns to get supplies to our unit, and the kids would, lock arms and try to stop our trucks, and we had Iraqis jumping on our trucks and cutting the ratchet straps and stealing supplies. So that happened a lot to us. So
Pretty intense.
yeah, it was. I mean, I haven't talked about this so long. Yeah, it was. But we all made it home, so that's the main thing.
So when you're on these convoys, you drove most of the time, or were you in the gunner's seat, so to say?
We switched. I mean, I like to drive, obviously, so one would drive there, or one would drive on the way back. It just depends. You split it up. So yeah.
Okay. So when you were on leave,
Yes.
you came home for
Like around Christmas time. Yep.
a little cold, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I went to Mexico, so I came home for a couple days, and then I ended up going to Mexico for a while, and then flew back home, and then I went back. So I think I was in Mexico for like a week. So
Did you keep a journal or diary or anything when you were over there?
I did not.
Okay. Now you're home.
Yes.
Your year is up.
Yes.
What was it like coming home for you? Because so many people, or I should say a lot of people, have issues when you come back.
I guess when I came back, quiet, I guess. There's so much going on. There was always people around, and no matter what time of day it was, there's always people, always noise. So to come home and have be quiet and to be alone, because you're always around so many people all the time, and then when you're by yourself, different, to be able to make decisions, like you're not on a structure, like if you want to eat at this time, you can, and just like the military, they can tell you, what to do. I mean, so to have your own freedom back again, and to be alone, and to not see your battle buddies, who you who you've been there with for that long, and who you swear that, you'll jump on a grenade give your life for them, and then you don't see them as much as you used to. So I guess that part's hard. I mean, I'm just really lucky because 2 of my best friends, I still see them and get to talk to them a lot.
Good. Did you take advantage of the GI Bill, or did you go on to school?
I did. I went on to school when I got back from basic training, and went on to school, went to college. Yep, and graduated.
And which college was that?
I went to Mid-State Technical College here in Wisconsin Rapids, and I got an associate's degree in correctional science.
Okay, what work did you do when you got out?
I worked at Subway, and then right before I graduated, I got hired at the Wood County Sheriff's Department. And so this August, I'll be going on 16 years there. And actually, the military is kind of what got me into like the corrections field, law enforcement field, is because I like the structure so much of the military, so, and how it was ran. So I thought the next closest thing would be law enforcement. So, and I was gonna enroll into the police science, but they were full. So I went corrections and fell in love with it and have never looked back.
Well, you said you went to the prisons in...
Yeah, I know. I was working here when I got deployed. And I'm like, I just can't get away from these prisons. It's obviously I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So.
Do you belong to any veterans organizations or
Yes,
associations?
I just joined the VFW, I think about 3 months ago.
Okay. Interesting seeing the older veterans, for lack of a better term, and how are you treated?
Really good, really good. Very welcoming. It's great. It's great. It's great to talk to the older veterans and meet people in the community. I really enjoy it.
Good. Are you aware of any organizations that help female veterans, female heroes?
No.
Do you belong to any of them by chance?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You mentioned reunions.
Yes.
How many have you been to? How many have you had? Let's put it that way.
Oh, geez. We have impromptu ones sometimes too. Probably like 4 or 5, and we're planning on one in 2018. I think we're trying to do it down in Nashville. Our last big one we did in Milwaukee, and the support and we went through Miller Coors, the tour and the hotel. I mean, it was just great. Harley Davidson. So we had it in Milwaukee. So now we're looking to do it down in Nashville. So that would be great because we have people that were attached to our unit that live all over from Minnesota, California. Well, now we're different, but when we were together it was Minnesota, Michigan, Kentucky. My first sergeant, he was from South Carolina, so First Sergeant Williams and Captain Bowes.
Okay. Anything else that you want to add about your service and your friends, your battle buddies?
Oh, my battle buddies, yes. Military was probably some of the best years of my life. I've met some of my best friends, and that I'm so thankful and blessed to have them. I still talk to people I met in the military, and it's like we can just talk and we never missed a beat. They truly are my family, and I am so proud to have served with those men and women. They're amazing, each and every one of them, and it was an honor to serve my country and to serve with them, and I'm very proud.
Melissa, thank you for your service. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for viewing today. Melissa, thank you for your service.
Thank you.